Danielle Smith is the Premier of Alberta. She joins me because I want to talk about the federal government trying to impose restrictions on the production of gas and oil in your province. And you have something called the Sovereignty Act, and they have something saying, you better do this. Help me with it.
Well, I can tell you, we believe in the Constitution. And if you read the Constitution, there are powers that the federal government has, and there are powers that the provincial government has. The federal government has the power for national defense.
Right.
I can't start setting up military installations. That would be against the Constitution. I have the power to develop my resources. They shouldn't be able to come in and tell me you can't do that. That's what we're asserting. We have the right to develop our resources. They want to bring through an aggressive emissions cap that would essentially shut in 2 million barrels a day of our production and cost us $12 billion.
It's a production.
It's a production cap.
Notwithstanding that they say emissions, it is about controlling the production. And so they want to stop it. You're saying that that's illegal. You also have the Sovereignty Act, which means what?
When we invoke the Sovereignty Act, we call them out. We say what you're doing is against the law, it's against the Constitution, we'll take you to court, and we'll put as many barriers in the way to prevent you from enacting it. And that's what we're going to do. I mean, one of the things that we're going to do is tell the companies that we contract that as a condition of their license, they report their emissions data to us, and then we will share it publicly. We don't want the federal government playing divide and conquer and trying to shut down individual facilities. We're not going to let that happen.
You don't want the Trudeau government to play divide and conquer? I mean, that'd be novel for them. But let's talk about the fact now, though, that with the change of regime in the States in a few weeks, they're going to want your resources and pay a fair dollar for it. Canada could once again be a rich country by selling resources from coast to coast to coast. And so do you think that's going to have any influence on the Canadian government, or is it in such disarray that they won't know how to answer?
Well, I'm hoping so. I mean, Dominic LeBlanc, I've had a good relationship with him as Intergovernmental Affairs Minister. He's now Finance Minister. He went to Mar-a-Lago, and so it seems to me he's beginning to build a relationship with the United States. But the point I've made is that you cannot have a policy that will effectively shut in production at the same time as you're going to the Americans saying you can rely on us as a secure supplier of your energy. So they've got to dump the emissions cap, and they've got to work with our American counterparts. We think that's the way to get a breakthrough on tariffs. If we can make sure that the Americans have what they need, we think that we'll be able to shield Canadian goods from tariffs altogether. That's the approach we're taking.
So our Prime Minister, Katie Telford, and Dominic had a dinner with the President-elect with about another 100 other people in the room, not exactly a confidential dinner. Will you be making trips to Washington? Will you be active putting forward Canada's position, Alberta's position?
I think the best person to tell the Alberta story is me. And so I've been doing that for the last year. I've already gone to the United States for the Western Governors Conference. I'll be going to the inauguration to attend events. I'll be going to the National Governors Conference. I've been invited to join the Governor's Council on Energy Security. I'm going to CERA Week in March, and that's only my next 3 months. So I intend to spend a lot of time in the U.S. making our case.
Premier Smith, that's good news for Canadians. And thanks very much.
Thank you.
3 minutes.